Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Bug Tempo with Kaito, Bane of Nightmares, and Rakshasa's Bargain, so we can refill our hand when we reach the mid-game. We also have Witherbloom Command. This is a very flexible spell that can deal with so many problematic permanents. Chalice of the Void, Orcish Bowmasters, Carpet of Flowers, Up the Beanstalk, and it can potentially recur a Wasteland, so we can waste our opponent a second time with the same Wasteland. On that note, we are playing the full 4 Wastelands. We're playing 3 Dazes. We are planning to turn the screws pretty quick here, and we have 2 Murktides as our finishers. We have the 2 Kaitos, and to enable Kaito, we have 4 Orcish Bowmasters, 4 Tamios, and 1 Nethergoyf. We're not playing the Baleful Strix this week. We decided to instead shift to something that's a little cheaper, and Nethergoyf is great because it is a threat that can potentially solo an opponent. You just play it on turn 1, and your creatureless opponent who's trying to combo you off, they're drawing cards, and each turn you're hitting them for 3 or 4. It's pretty good. The mana base is the same as last week, except I've added the Bayou. I wanted to have a 3rd green source just in case we got wasted off them, because Witherbloom is pretty sweet. And we still have the Hedge Maze and the Trop here. So we're down to 3 Underground Sea. But other than that, we have a total of 8 fetches. We have, I think, 9 fetchables, including this basic island. And we have a basic swamp that comes in as the 20th land in certain tempo matchups like Blue-Black Tempo, Delver. We also have the Carpet of Flowers. I do think this is worth it, even though our curve is really low, just because it's really, really powerful. It's a really good card. Also, we can bring it in when we're bringing in Harbinger of the Seas, and then we still have access to all of our colors, even under Harbinger, because our opponent is almost certainly going to have some islands. We're still rocking the 4 Force of Negations for the combo matchups. We have the 3 Hydroblasts. We have 2 Nile Spellbombs and 1 Grafdigger's Cage. When you're playing black, I think it's correct to play more Nile Spellbombs, but Grafdigger's Cage is just a uniquely powerful Magic the Gathering card that everybody should play, in my humble opinion. Dismember is our additional piece of removal. This definitely comes in against Moonstompy because it can deal with Magus of the Moon. So this is the list. It should be a lot of fun. We're going to hope to tempo some people when we need to go long. Hopefully Rakshasa's Bargain and Witherbloom Command help us go long. See you in round 1. All right, round 1, we're up against Buena, which means good. We'll hope that they'll be saying that after as like a kind of uncle after we crush them with this insane hand. This is a really good hand. We've got Force interaction. We've got Thoughtseize interaction. If they're on a combo deck, this is a great hand. If they're on tempo, it's not that great. Island. Ponder. Okay. This could be anything, literally. Half the decks in the format could have this opening. Maybe not half, but like at least 40%, I think, are blue decks right now. Blue decks that play an island. I mean, playing an island is actually not something that every deck does anymore. Because if you think about like the blue painter decks may not be on island. A lot of those other kind of like artifact-y decks, a lot of 4-color decks might not have room for an island. I don't know. I think pretty much everybody's playing island now if they're blue. Okay, LED. I'm going to let that resolve. Opal. LED. Okay, you may look at the top card of your library at any time. And if you level it, as long as you cast a spell this turn, you may play cards from the top of your library. That's pretty good. Your hand costs 2 less to cast. This is a really good card for a combo. So I'm not a combo player, so I don't know exactly, but it seems like the ability to cast cards from the top of your library is insane. It's just for a turn, though. So they could crack and they could use this ability to play something off the top if they have like... But they know that I have a force in my... Or they should infer that I have a force in my hand by the way that I've just sat here. Like taking it. Okay, so... Question is, okay, I feel confident that they have a card in their hand. They're just not using it. I'm going to go get a Bayou. No reason to show them that I have blue in my deck. And I'll need this. Wait a second. I can just get an Underground Sea There's no reason to show them that I have green in my deck. It probably won't be consequential in this matchup. They're a Doomsday deck. Holy cow, Doomsday. I would not have expected Doomsday with that opening. Well, they actually don't have the mana to play Doomsday. I think I'm going to take the Brainstorm. Is that correct? They don't have the mana to cast Doomsday. They could Brainstorm and put something on top. There's not going to be any time during their draw step, but they can do things with LED, with Brainstorm that are pretty scary. I'm going to take the Brainstorm. So now my priority is to get Tomio down so we can start outdrawing them. I've never seen a double LED Doomsday deck. Okay. So this is what I would like. Had I not Thoughtseize there, they could Brainstorm and then put like the Doomsday. No, they need to do that twice. But you could like crack your LEDs with a Brainstorm on the stack. I'm going to let that happen. They pitched the Doomsday for that. This must be important. Or they're incredibly desperate. They get one more. They can play a few more cards off the top here. I guess I'll let them take it. Because this could be a longer game. I don't have like a clear path to victory here. So we're just going to sit around. But next turn, they're not going to be able to do anything really. Unless they have like a Doomsday on top of their deck. Then they could Doomsday right now. Seeing this hedge maze, they got to be thinking, okay, they're on beans. I think my plan this turn is to just go ahead and Wasteland them to restrict their mana. What? Okay, so they're settling in for a long game, but I think they're crazy for not taking my force. You're just going to Tendrils for 4? Sure, deal. White border Tendrils. What a slap in the face. All right. Let's see. Okay, they're just Tendriling to get through it. I mean, this is a very cool card, but they've invested a tremendous amount of resource. They freaking cracked their LED, discarding Doomsday. Yeah, okay. Leaving me with the force. All right. So you are going to be extremely low resource next turn. I've drawn a force. I'm just going to take this away from you and try to rein you in a little bit. As long as you've cast a spell this turn. Okay, interesting. So I misread the card. I didn't realize that like this is just permanent. I thought it was the turn that you played it. What are they doing with 2 mana here? Am I missing something? They can't level this up. Well, I'm just going to waste them again. Keep them low resource. They probably don't have that many lands in their deck. Most Doomsday players only have like 16 land in their deck. Okay, they did find another land. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just play this. Surveil deeper. That is a win con. Let's keep that. We'll just play that and we'll try to win. It'll come in as a 5/5, which is not super strong, but it's better than nothing, considering we have force in our hand. Scariest thing they could do is draw a 3rd land and just level this up, because, I mean, I don't know. Is that scary? Seems like it'd be scary. Great. So they did find the Thoughtseize. Now they can play cards off the top of their deck. Chromox. Man, this card's cool. Fortune Teller's Talent. Is this a new card? This is an older card. I've never even heard of it. They just play it out for nothing, just to get it off the top of the deck, I guess. All right. So I am going to go ahead and play out the Merc. It'll be a 6/6 now, which is 3 swings. It's in. This doesn't seem like the type of deck that's likely to have a lot of removal in it. But if you think about it, like, okay, yeah. Take my other force. And now they can play a land off the top. Okay, so next turn they can Fortune Teller's Talent again. It's crazy that this is like as much of a game as it is. But I guess if their land count is low enough, then they're almost always going to cast a land or be able to cast some sort of 0-drop or something like that to turn this on for the rest of the turn. They can shuffle here if they want to find something new. Oracle, just playing it out just to get through it. They get to surveil, so they can potentially put something else on. Again, if they don't like their top card, they can just shuffle this away. How have I not heard of this card before? I guess it is a pretty big mana investment. They've got a 2nd surveil land. So if they have another 0-drop on top, they can cast it here. I assume they have a 2nd Thoughtseize Oracle in their deck in case they need to make a Doomsday pile, but I can't imagine them winning without casting Doomsday. I'm just going to hold these cards. There's no point in Fatal Pushing the Oracle. I mean, they could cast 4 or 5 spells this turn. They're down to 33 cards in their entire deck. That's how powerful this thing's been. Brainstorm. It's a good card. They can stack their entire deck to where they can just basically cast those 4 cards. Yeah, I totally misread this card and thought like, oh, it's just like a 1-turn thing. It's possible they build up enough Storm that they can kill me. They only need 2 more Storm to kill me. They have access to 2 mana, 3 mana, because they now have Metalcraft. Seeing how dependent their deck seems to be on this, I do think I'm going to force it next time I see it. Like, this game would be a non-game had I forced this and had I Thoughtseized them. But my thinking was, okay, they probably have Echo of Eons, so I need to hold my force for that. They do opt to put a card under it, which is Hubris. I mean, my goodness, like that Ponder represents potentially a lot of 0-drops for them. If they Ritual, okay, are we dead now? Did they find another Tendrils? Duress? Doomsday. Okay, they have to win this turn. They can stack their pile in a way that they can win this turn, maybe. Just put a bunch of 0-drops, draw through them, and then cast a Thoughtseize Oracle. So I should trust that they have the win here. I'm just going to F6. Yeah, because you just put like enough petals and stuff. Oh, they put a Tendrils on top. They're going to win this turn through Tendrils. That makes sense. We'll see whether they screwed up. I doubt they screwed up. And the reason they're going the Tendrils route may be that they can't Oracle because they cast the Oracle. 1. So they can just crack this immediately, use that mana for it. It's a cool deck. I'm glad to feature this on the BXLN channel. Yeah, lots of hand disruption there. Okay, so I think the force negations come in. All the creature removal can come out. I doubt there are any other creatures other than Oracle. I doubt they're going to pivot to a creature plan. I think that's probably it. Yep, let's go. Oh, wait. Cast spells. Oh, wait a second. Does this stop? What was the card called that they were using a whole lot? Some sort of talent. Look at the name. I think that this might stop it. Fortune Teller's Talent. I think it's cast spells from the top of the library. This is a Bloomborough card. I just didn't recognize the thing. So it is a relatively new card. You know what? I mean, I think it's fine to bring this in. It's not going to be embarrassing if it just completely shuts down their thing. Witherbloom command is good. I could probably cut the basic island. I'll cut a Bayou. Borrower would have been good there too, because we could have bounced it out of the way, and they would have invested. They'd have to reinvest 5 mana in it. I'm not going to cut a land. I think 19 is probably low enough for most situations. Like if I was cutting a Wasteland, it'd be one thing, but I don't want to cut a colored source. I think I'm going to cut a Bowmasters. My reasoning is Netherglyph hits faster, comes down faster, and potentially hits harder. And they do have cantrips in their deck. Yes, they probably have 8 cantrips. This hand isn't viable due to mana. This hand works. It opens Thoughtseize. I'm okay with not having a force if I can Thoughtseize them first. Let's keep it. I'm going to put back the Bayou because I'll just fetch and get Witherbloom online like that. So Kaito is kind of a bummer because he doesn't come online for a while. Oh no. I was supposed to get the, yeah, I'll just go ahead and get it now. I do need a green source here. Okay, so they can double Thoughtseize me. They don't have a lot else going on. I think I just let them Thoughtseize me a bunch. Not even sure what they take. They almost certainly take the Brainstorm and probably the Witherbloom. So I'll take the Brainstorm just to, slow down the arrival of Doomsday. They do have the mana for Doomsday here. They almost certainly take Witherbloom command too because it can come from their Mox if they use it. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I sequenced the way I did because I should have played Underground Sea and then I could go get the Surveil Land instead. They're opting not to play any of their fast mana, so they're just taking it slow. Well, this is a great draw. They're welcome to Thoughtseize me again. If I get another land, I've got Kaito, which will help us dig your answers. If they Thoughtseize me again, it doesn't actually change anything. They drew a Ponder, which is good for them. So it's worth noting this could have been a Bowmasters. I considered swapping out, taking out Netherglyph instead of Bowmasters. But my theory is hitting for even like a little bit more than 2 each turn is worth it when they can potentially just play around Bowmasters for a while. So their hand is this plus 2 unknown. Tarn, that's an unknown card. Petal. Thoughtseize, okay. They took the Kaito, which buffs my Netherglyph. I'm not sure that I agree with that play. I wouldn't necessarily. Well, yeah, I probably would bring Kaito back. All right. I think this is very much a situation where we want to go ahead and Witherbloom them. Green, black. And I am going to take out their petal. Just going to do this to restrict their options a little bit. Okay, they floated blue. That's fine. Do they have Brainstorm? I'll get back a land. I can play this land out. My Netherglyph is now 5/6, which is pretty rocking. 3-turn clock for a 1-mana drop. Okay, they do have the Brainstorm. That's fine. Brainstorm would better be something special, friend. You are in serious danger. You can't even Doomsday because you're going to be at 10. Like, you could Doomsday, but you have to win the same turn. Yeah, I think playing out the Lotus Petal was a mistake. I think putting Kaito in my graveyard might have been a mistake because Witherbloom was gonna, potentially beef up my Netherglyph. And if I didn't have this in my graveyard, then Netherglyph would still probably be a 3/4 if they'd just taken that. So now I can get a Surveil end step. And we're just looking for a blue card. They Surveil. Their hand is Mox, 2 unknown. They put a Mox in their graveyard. There's the talent. That's fine. I think it's too little too late. Unless they have an LED right now. Urza's Bauble. That is some weird art and a word frame. My goodness. The thing doesn't even look like a bauble. It looks like some sort of bubblegum, thing rolling down the mountain, sticking to everything. Go and Surveil here. That will do, pig. That will do. Now we just have to, let's say hypothetically they level this up. They have so little going on. They see my force. They already knew about it, but they don't know that I have a blue card. But they can presume that there's a good chance I have a blue card. I think I have 25, 26 blue cards in my deck. I've got a very good blue count. So I've got 23 main deck, and then I've got the additional forces and stuff that I brought in. So yeah, it's a very blue deck. 29, 30, 31 blue cards. So heavy blue card bias here. I don't think we changed anything. I think we just run it back. All right. This hand looks like it doesn't have a force in it. I guess we want to ask, could they go turn 1? Murktide's like a late game card. We don't really need this much mana. I'm going to mulligan this. This is a lot better. This is why you mulligan, friends. We can just put back the redundant Tomio, and then we have force blue card Thoughtseize and a Tomio, early Tomio if we need it. This is like a slamming hand. We can go get the, I'll keep this. Tomio to the bottom. All right, so we're protected against some turn 1 degeneracy. Island Ponder. My opponent's been getting so many cantrips. Okay, Petal. Fortune Teller's Talent. I'm not going to stop that. I know that, I should have learned my lesson. Yeah, I'm just going to try to Thoughtseize other stuff and control their mana. It's not a good draw. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them. I can blow this up is another thing. Witherbloom command does blow it up. So I'm not like a typical blue-black tempo deck would not have any recourse, but we do. They have another land, so they're 1 mana away from being able to level that up. LED. LED does level this up, which is scary. They have to discard. They don't discard anything. They can just brainstorm. I'm going to let it go. We're going to let them do their crazy thing. They can brainstorm first, and then LED discards nothing. Then they level. Yeah, maybe I should have forced this. I didn't expect them to immediately draw an LED. But that is they have 4 of those probably in their deck. And I'm going to be really embarrassed if I lose this one, because my opening hand was really good. They had nothing in their opening hand. Well, wait, they played this turn 1, so I didn't get a chance to Thoughtseize it. Then LED off the top. If they have a chain of discard spells, it's really bad for me. Best draw on my deck is most definitely Witherbloom command to deal with this. It might make sense since I've got so much land to use the life gain mode if I find it, because it'll just make it a little slightly harder for them to tendrils me out. They level that up. Now here comes the chain of 0 drops. Ponder. Okay, off the petal. It could be that there's no one card that's worth forcing. I mean, Doomsday obviously is a card worth forcing. Do you ever force this? It's 1 mana that does nothing, and then you pay 4 more mana, but you can't stop them from paying 4 mana if they find the mana source. It just doesn't feel right to force this card. Leave a comment with the timestamp. Obviously, you have the result-oriented, like you have the benefit of hindsight knowing that they're going to draw LED and that this is coming immediately as opposed to like 4 turns from now. Okay, another force is not something to complain about. I am going to go off of force, though, and get a Tomio down because we need some forward momentum here if they stall out. We have plenty of cards. Like they would have to discard us a lot to get us off Tomio. So at least we're drawing 2 cards a turn now, potentially. Yeah, these 0 drops, man. I want to let it happen. I mean, force. I thought this was Doomsday, but it's like Doomsday is just part of the game. I think it's ultimately a fortune teller's talent deck based on the sheer volume of 0 drops I'm seeing. It's really exciting to see like completely new archetypes, essentially. Like I've never even heard of this card before this turn. Got a lot of mana. It's not showing the storm count yet, but I think it's reasonably high. Thoughtseize. Okay, so we still have force. If they Thoughtseize the second time, we won't have force. And then we'll be vulnerable. Took the daze. It could be that I was supposed to daze the Dark Ritual there. It didn't occur to me that they don't have anything under this Mox. Land drop. So they actually risked, like when they Dark Ritual, they could have played that land out and protected it from daze. That's worth noting. I do think it was correct to probably daze that. But then, okay, another one. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't change anything at all, I don't think. They're just playing it to get through it. So this is kind of like a mini Mystic Forge. All right. So we're getting another turn. That's nice. They know what our hand is. We're going to get a Hedge Maze. We were looking for cards that close. We dodge the land. Witherbloom command, please. Okay, Nethergoyf's reasonable. I think I'm going to play him out. I'm going to attack. There's no reason to play that. We've already made our land drop. We are dropping our Goyf just as a very slow win con. We have force. We can crack a clue. I don't want to crack a clue until after, like toward the end of their turn. The reason is maybe if they cast something that I want to force, I'll do it. This is an interesting deck because Thoughtseize isn't even that great against it because like it's the top of their deck that I'm scared of, not like their hand. I take some random 1-drop out of their hand and it doesn't change anything. Also, the more mana they amass, like typically you don't want to play a lot of mana in these types of decks, but they may actually be playing more mana because they are hitting their land drops every single turn. I don't think that does anything. Oh wait, that reduces the cost. They did the cost reduction thing. I don't know how many spells in their deck actually cost like lots of mana to use. They're passing. Okay. They just had nothing to do with their mana, so they leveled it up. I can't see any spells that cost a lot of mana to cast. Oh, that makes Tendrils cheaper. I guess that's the only thing I can think of. Let's grab an Underground Sea here. Let's go ahead and draw. Force negation. Okay. There we go. Well, they leveled this one up. I'm just going to hit it. They'll have to level the other one up. We're doing this pre-combat. I think it's probably better to mill myself because there's a better chance that I actually mill something that buffs the Nethergoyf. Unfortunately, I didn't find a Wasteland. I'll take this land, and then I can still crack a clue this turn. My Nethergoyf did go to 4/5, though. So that was still a good turn. Now they're going to have to spend 4 mana to level this up again, which will probably do most of what they can do this turn. Yeah, the fact that they spent so much mana in it and it's still small enough that I can hit it with Witherbloom. Witherbloom's a great card. Like, it is definitely one of the best green cards ever printed. I won't say it's one of the best black cards ever printed because black's got a lot of really good cards. They put a Thoughtseize into their graveyard. Interesting. Really digging for action here. Yeah, I mean, they've hit a land drop every single turn of every single game, it seems like. They must be playing like 20 lands or something, which is just an insane amount in a Chrome Mox deck. They're leveling. Okay. So that means they may have 0 drops on top. We could find another Witherbloom. That would be insane. I'll get a Bayou here. Mark, does it change the clock? Let's think about this. So we're going to hit for 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not quite enough to change the clock from a 2 turn. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and draw off because if I can flip Tommy and get back Witherbloom, it's really good. Okay. I do want to flip Tommy here. Okay, we didn't get what I was hoping to get, but we do have like lots of forces. Merc might come down the following turn, but it's a no. I don't want to pitch Rakshas's Bargain because I'm going to use that to dig for Witherbloom next turn. So we'll just do it like that with triple force. Tommy goes up, and we will pass. 2-turn clock, but we have triple force. We may need it. Our opponent's dangerously low on life too, or clock rather. Yeah, and had I dropped a Merc, it would have maybe shaved a turn off. Next turn, Witherbloom. We just have to stop him for 1 turn. Then we Witherbloom that away, and I think we're out of danger. They took our force negation, which I guess we can hardcast. Ponder. I'm so tempted to force this because this like potentially like sets up a bunch of additional effects. Is that crazy? I feel like that is crazy. But we're like I said, we're so close to winning. I just don't want them to have access to more cards. They may have some bad card on top, like a clunker of some sort. Thoughtseize. They're going to take our other force. Now we have only days to defend ourselves. Uh-oh, we're like dead to storm if they have if they tendrils us at this point. We'll go to 1 life. They do have the land, of course. So they do have storm. No, they don't quite have storm mana. They're shuffling their deck. They put themselves to 5. If we could find a way to get a Kaito in our graveyard, we could win next turn. Oh, we can just Witherbloom, kill them on top of Netherglyph. They have to win now. Direct damage, too powerful. Can they win with 2 mana? They ran out of lands. I will daze that. That doesn't produce mana. Okay. All right, we did it. We fought through this weird rogue deck. That was fun. See you in round 2. Round 2, we're up against another Doomsday deck. We're on the play, but this hand does so little. Yeah, I'm going to mulligan this. This is much better. Okay, so I'm going to keep the Force Blue card. I'm going to get rid of the push. I'm going to assume they've been playing this for months, basically. As of 2 days ago, they finished 12th in the challenge. Impressive. So let's keep this. I'm going to put back the island. I don't think it matters. We can keep all the juicy action in our hand. Oh, wait, I was supposed to put back the Fatal Push because it's not going to do a damn thing in this matchup. Yeah, that was a punt. Okay, so let's Thoughtseize here. Show me your secrets. All right, and it is a Doomsday hand. So we will take the Doomsday and leave them with a lot of cantrips. They've only got 1 card, 1 land. But yes, I feel very dumb for keeping that Fatal Push. The land, I mean, I could brainstorm it back, and I probably will have to brainstorm it back to get a relevant card. Underground Seas out, Petals out. Now, it's worth noting that since they have Edge of Autumn, wasting them does give them a free cycle, but it's still probably worth doing, considering they only have 1 land. They shuffled their Ponder. Let's find some action. All right. Go ahead and play this out, and then I'm going to brainstorm. We're going to see if we can put back this Fatal Push. These are much better. We can put both of these Fatal Pushes back. We've got a great hand now. I'm going to go ahead and just get Tropical Island, and I'll play out a Tamio. And this is going to give my opponent Beanstalk vibes, and I'm totally fine with giving them Beanstalk vibes. I just want to get my Howling Mine online. Pondering again. It's a pretty good top deck. Pondering yet again. They've been shuffling these and just finding more ponders. It's pretty good. All right, that's a great rip. That's an insane rip. We can regrow the Thoughtseize next turn. I am going to brainstorm. I wouldn't mind hitting a land drop. Wow. Fatal Push goes back for sure. We do have a way to shuffle in Ponder. Kaito is the pitch. Rakshasa's Bargain can likely get cast later. Actually, if I just put Kaito back, I'm not going to have an attacker, and then I just Ponder to shuffle immediately. I think that's fine. We still have Force Blue card. Blue for Ponder. And you were to shuffle. We already know we're going to shuffle this. There's 2 more Fatal Pushes on top. That's an insane rip. We are getting lucky as hell. Lucky as hell. Okay. All right, the scoop. They had no idea what was in our hand, but they would have cried had they Thoughtseized us. Okay, so this one, again, the Force Negations come in. Doomsday is not on my sideboard guide. I have a sideboard guide in the video description, and I don't put Doomsday in there because not because I don't think it's a serious deck, but it's not as common. Like it's very hard to play the deck. Yeah, I think everything, we just do the 4 Fatal Pushes for the 4 Force Negations. Bob's our uncle. We still have answers to creatures in the form of Brazen Borrower and Kaito. Kaito is great because he kind of is an answer to whatever creature your opponent puts out. Opponent puts out a Traxa, but they're low on life. Boom, stun their Traxa. Let's attack for lethal. Yeah, it's a good card for sure. And that's one reason to not play Beans. By the way, I am working on a version that has Beanstalk and Kaito in it. I'm not sure if it's going to work. It feels too complicated. When you're trying to slay combo decks, oh, this is a force hand. I like the Bowmasters. Bowmasters is a lot better in this matchup than it is in other matchups because it can mess with their piles. And their life total really matters. Dark Rit. Protected turn 1? I mean, they saw how quickly I kept. I want to pitch the Borrower. The Daze. A Force. Okay. So we're probably dead. We can put out a Bowmaster. No, we don't even have the ability to put out a Bowmaster. I think we're just dead to turn 1 protected for Doomsday. So I have 6 through this turn. And I'm going to get my breakfast going. All right, they assembled that pile very quickly. So we're going to do my BCD FOP thing that I do. So that is Brainstorms 1, 2, 3, 4. C is Cyclers. So we see Edge of Autumn here. F. Oh, they brought in Shieldred. Let's see. Is that the only sideboard juke thing? I'm not going to bring in Fatal Pushes just for a single Shieldred. We may get unlucky and face it next turn, though. They have Barragoyf. How many Barragoyfs do they have? 2 Barragoyfs? 3 Barragoyfs? Okay, we might need to leave in a couple Fatal Pushes. BCD. D is Daze. If they had Daze in hand, they would have used it. There's no way they would put it in a pile. I think they just took it out. Not playing it. Yeah. F is Force. So 1, 2, 3, 4. O is Oracle. I don't see Oracle in the pile. I don't see Cavernous Souls either. So they're probably going to cavern us. P is Ponder. 1, 2, 3. Okay, they may have a Ponder in hand. No, wait, there's the 4th one. Okay. So yeah, we have a pretty clear idea. They're using Duras. I'm going to see how many Durases they have. They have 1, 2 Duras. And no Thoughtseize that I see. Wait. 1 Thoughtseize, 2 Thoughtseizes. Okay. So they've got like a 2-2 split of Duras and Thoughtseize, assuming they don't have one up in their 2-card hand here. So we're like super dead. Like I'm trying to imagine a scenario in which we can keep up with this. I do think we want to go ahead and ponder to see if we can find a force. Just in case they're using like a brainstorm thing. I don't think these are keepable. Okay, that's not a good draw. So we do have Daze up, but if we Daze, then we can't Bowmaster. But I still think it's probably okay. Wasteland might be something we could draw here if we're not just dead. They fetch a land. So this means that they have the 3rd land in the pile here. Well, I'm just going to Daze that, and then they'll have to cast it again next turn. Okay, so they can just cast it again next turn. So we need to find probably another Daze. Rakshasa's Bargain doesn't do it. I'm just going to play this out, and we'll see what they do here. But I'm pretty sure the Thassa's Oracle's the next card in their deck. Okay, I'm going to have to use our mana here, sadly, for an imperfect Brainstorm. We did find a Daze. I assume they have Cavern in hand. Put back like this. Let's draw this by you. We can, I mean, it shouldn't matter. What we can do here is we can cast Brainstorm to get further into our deck, but it's not going to matter. They're just going to Cavern us. Yep. And we can concede here. There's nothing we could find that would stop this. Okay. Turn 1 protected. It's hard to stop that. Like we did keep a responsible hand. So I'm going to assume that they're going to keep some creatures in. Witherbloom is not particularly good against them. It can mess up their piles. I guess that's a reason to keep it in. I'm going to take out the island. I'll take out one of the Wastelands. No, I don't know. Wasteland can be good. I'll take out a Bayou. Nethergrowth coming down turn 1 is really a big deal. Bowmasters is a little slow. All right, this is not a force hand. It's also not a Thoughtseize hand. I don't think we can keep it. I just need to be ready for them to go crazy here. This is a great hand. Rakshas's Bargain's a blue card, but it is a slow card. I think we probably put back the Witherbloom just to maximize. Like double force seems good. Unfortunately, we drew our trop. I do want to surveil in step. I think it's okay to cut ourselves off black for a few turns if it means we get an extra surveil. I think most likely opening for them is like just a Thoughtseize or a Duress pass. Maybe a Ponder. This is an extremely experienced Doomsday pilot, one of the world's most. So I am on guard. They are fetching a response. Okay. They opted to keep their top card. This goes in the graveyard because we don't have black mana. I'm going to play this and I'm going to just pass with lots of interaction up. We're 1 black mana away from bargaining. Yes. Oh, Baragorf? Well, I am going to force Baragorf. I can't beat that. They force back. Sadly, I think I need to force this. They're down to 2 cards. Bargain can help us dig out of this if we find a black source. I kind of want to brainstorm here, but I know it's going to be better to brainstorm next turn. Let's see. We brainstorm. We have better idea of whether we need to pitch Rakshasa's Bargain. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. No, because we're not going to have bad cards to shuffle back, are we? Rakshasa's Bargain can really dig us out of this hole we're digging ourselves into by double forcing. I'm going to brainstorm, and it's if we have a land, then I'm not going to pitch Rakshasa's Bargain. I'm going to pitch anything else. Okay, we have a land. It's not the land we need, but we can waste them into... No, wait, we don't have freaking black. I'm going to pitch Kaito here. So I'll draw a Wasteland, I'll waste. And I'm going to hold on to hope that Rakshasa's Bargain delivers us from evil later. If their last card is a force, it'll be such a beating. Okay. They used a lot of resources for that. Obviously, we used a lot of resources to stop it. I'm going for their Undercity Sewer here. Just, okay, they edge on them. That's unfortunate. They were able to get value out of that. All right, we'll just chill with like nothing going on. Dead to Dark Ritual Doomsday. Street Wraith. Brainstorm. Okay, so they're digging. We know we're drawing at Witherbloom, which is dead because we don't have black yet. But it's good once we get the mana. What I'll do with Witherbloom is once we get black, I will Witherbloom and drain them and waste them. This is not good. They have another Baragorf. Okay, we're dead, I think. Because we need to draw black and an answer before they connect. And once they've even connected once, the game slips away very quickly. Tomio can chump for a turn. Actually, I think I'm going to let them connect. I'm just going to hope that they don't find another. They don't actually have that many creatures in the deck. Them drawing 5 is not like... Them gaining 5 life is bad, but it's not like the end of the game. They only have, I think, 3 creatures in their entire deck. Let's see whether they find one. They do not... Wait, did they? Yeah, they didn't find one. Okay. They're going to take our bargain here, I presume. And I would be in a very different situation had I not hedge mazed. The hedge maze dodged a Bowmaster, but Bowmaster would have been pretty decent here because it would have represented 2 blocks on Baragorf. All right, now I'm going to ponder. We're looking for flustering that. Okay. All right. Yeah, they're just trying to tempo us out with the Baragorf. 1 card in hand. It's a brainstorm. It's a pretty good card to have, and not as good as a ponder. But they can choose which ones they want to mill off when they attack here. So it's basically like a ponder, but better. Well, not necessarily better, but it's like a ponder because they get to mill those. Yeah, I'm feeling super dead to their creature plan. They got another Baragorf. This is not good. Okay, we finally got the black source. But we can't waste the same turn cycle, so they are going to have a second Baragorf out. I'm going to create a clue here. This is a 5/6 currently. I mean, it's possible that we crack and we find a Fatal Push. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this first to maximize likelihood of finding it. It's a very small difference. But I need a Fatal Push right now if I want to have any prayer of survival. I'm going to concede. What happened there? Well, I'm not sure that I did anything wrong. I would argue that maybe fetching this Surveil land was greedy when I could have had my colors. And yeah, I'm gonna accept that was probably a mistake. I was probably greedy. I definitely labored over whether to have Hedge Maze be the Surveil land or Undercity Sewer. And the reason Hedge Maze is the Surveil land, I think it's already come up twice in the league where it's like, oh man, Hedge Maze, why can't you be Undercity Sewer? The reason is that we do want to be able to, like green is always in a 2-mana spell, but we have lots of 1-mana spells like Netherglyph and Thoughtseize and Fatal Push that are black. So you would never need green on turn 1 is what I'm saying. You would always want it on turn 2. So it makes sense from that argument. Like if that doesn't make sense logically, let me know. But that's my understanding, is that you want your splash color that's going to come out the latest to be your Surveil color. Right? We were up against an unknown opponent. They played a lot of Stompy decks historically. I think this hand is okay. Wasteland is very good. If they are on Eldrazi, Wasteland is very good on that. Like obviously Eldrazi's changed fundamentally with the banning of Song Michael Swan. Rest in pieces. Yeah, I think we can keep this though. Okay, Flood Strand deck. Don't be blue-black tempo. Cameo. Okay, I think they're probably on blue-black tempo. I am going to go ahead and Thoughtseize them. And I'm just going to hope that they don't have Wasteland. If they have Wasteland, I'll just cry. I could ponder here and try to dig deeper. If they force this or something like that, I can just daze. I don't think they would force it. But I would daze a daze on this. Okay, yeah, they're on tempo, but they don't, importantly, they don't have... So Netherglyph, this is a shaky keep. I'm going to hit the ponder. That maxes looks at land. That's the scariest thing they could do. Actually, I think I need to hit Brainstorm. I'll hit Brainstorm, and then I can daze their ponder when they're looking for a land. Weak play, but it's better than nothing. They are, racking up clues every turn I sit here and do nothing. But like, if they don't have the mana to cash in the clues, don't have a land drop. Yeah, that is going to be a daze here. Just trying to maximize the turns that they don't have access. And they may force this if they drew a blue card. They may have drawn off a blue card there because they did think about it for a minute. I'm going to Thoughtseize them again. Maybe take one of the Netherglyphs. I know it buffs the other one and that they'll eventually be able to bring it back. This was yet another opportunity where I could have pondered to try. Yeah, they did draw. I was correct that they drew a blue card. I'm going to take the Brainstorm. I think what they were thinking was, I don't want to pitch this because I want to be able to Brainstorm. There, they drew the land. Okay. So I am going to be wasting that. But it sucks to waste it when they've got another Netherglyph coming down, and it's a pretty big one. Okay, force, not the worst draw. I'm going to go ahead and play my ponder first before they get to do anything. I guess no, they drew the land for the turn, so there's no chance that it would have been I'm going to shuffle this. I'm just looking for land. I'll Wasteland and I'm in the dirt. Okay, that's a good card. Go ahead and hit that. That's fine. All right. Hand is double Netherglyph, Brainstorm, or Force of Will, 1 unknown. 2 unknown now. Another land. Okay. So that's unfortunate. They're probably not going to do a basic swamp. If they do, that's really bad for us. They do. We're going to be Fatal Pushing this turn, and they're going to be many cards ahead, and they can start dropping Netherglyphs and beating this down. But I think that this has to go first. The other option is we try to find a land. They could have drawn a... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I don't want this to get dazed, but I am going to push this. It sucks because the Netherglyphs are going to destroy us. They're going to utterly annihilate us here. It's fine. Just need to get that off the table. I mean, I think I have to force this. I need this thing off the table. Like, it's already given them so many freaking cards. I'm going to force pitch Rakshasa's Bargain because we're pretty far from using that. So that was like a 2 for 2. Their hand is double Netherglyph, 1 unknown. Yeah, this is a really bad matchup. Like, I feel like the mirror is favored. Yeah, and they found the freaking Wasteland too. So they drew 3 lands in a row, basically. And if we don't draw a land here, I'm just going to scoop. I think I'm going to scoop. I don't think that we're coming back from double Nethergoyf. Like, those things are huge right now. Okay. So against the mirror, we're definitely bringing in the swamp. We're bringing in the carpet, which is quite good at undoing their wastelands. Dismember is certainly an option. Does a lot of damage to us. Cards that we don't care about. I think we can just take out Force completely. Thoughtseize is pretty bad against decks that are aggroing you. So that means I guess we bring these forces back in. They have no idea that we're not just the straight mirror. I don't think we showed it. Well, we did show them Rakshasa's bargain if they were paying attention. Yeah, I think this is fine. So we've got our 20 lands now and the carpet. Yeah, hopefully we don't get flooded. This is pretty strong. My instinct is to go ahead and just trop into carpet. I want to get that out before they Thoughtseize or Daze. If they force, it's okay. Do we want to buy you instead? I'm going to trop carpet because there's a chance that we need this mana for cantrips. They can waste us. They can do a lot of stuff, but they can't escape the fact that the carpet is eventually going to give us mana. They can slow roll it. They can just surveil, end step. They can get their basic swamp. Okay, they're just feeding the carpet. All right, another wave. I'm just going to use this for black for Fatal Push. I will play this out. I'll Fatal Push them. And then I think I'm going to waste them. And that may seem weird, but I did draw a land. So like a lot of my cards like Murktide Region and stuff are online. If they fetch to cast something here, I can Witherbloom and re-waste. They play like 19 lands. Okay, there's the basic island, so I can't re-waste. This is fine. I'm going to actively hope they flip it so I can kill it with Witherbloom. I'll just Fatal Push it again. If they force this, I'm just going to Brazen Borrow it. Because what I'm really looking for... Okay, great. I'll play my land out. So I've got Brazen Borrower up. I don't really want things to get dazed here. They have Bowmasters, most likely. If I wait, I think I'm just going to drop a Merc. It's a 5/5. It's that blue. And then what I can do is, at the end of the turn, this does give up on the dream of being able to Witherbloom, waste them, but I'm going to use Witherbloom next turn to kill their Bowmaster. Okay, and when they cast Bowmasters, I'll go ahead and attempt to Brainstorm and see if they want to daze it. Just going to get this bad card out of my hand. Daze is probably what we want to do here. Really want this Force Ever. Not at this point in the game. I can draw this and use that. Is it worth dazing this? I think it's probably worth dazing this. I think I'm going to put back the Force. And I will put back this land. Yeah, that's what I was originally planning to do. And now I will just attempt. And I'll return the more important of the 2 lands to our hand. See if they want to daze back here. This is the first opportunity I've given them to daze something. All right, it's gone. They don't have a lot of answers to this main deck. They have bigger Murktide, which they can't currently do. They have like 3/3 Murktide. Kaito is an answer. Nethergoyf. Ponder. So at this point, I will just fetch and then Witherbloom just to get my fetch back and fill up my yard a little bit. Just to make efficient use of my mana because they're going to give me a ton of mana here. And I could probably also borrow as well just to buy some tempo. Let's add black. Let's grab this Bayou in case they wait. Green. Oh, wait. I screwed up. Oh, wait, I can do green off this. Yeah, never mind. Witherbloom, cast. I'll mill myself and I will my opponent, I guess. Hopefully I find a Wasteland. That'd be great. We do have a juicy graveyard if we find a second Merc. Go blue. Back to hand. Got one floating, so they can't daze it. Okay, and we can play that out next turn. It does get Bowmastered, but it is kind of like, I think it's probably fine. Yeah, my hand is not exciting. If they answer this Murktide, we could still be in trouble. Okay. And one of the reasons I bounce that is I do fear Kaito coming down and stunning my Merc. Okay, that's great. We're going to add some black here. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to combat. Well, no, I'll add 3 blue and I'll use this. And that might bait out their Bowmaster and then I can just Bowmaster their Bowmaster. And then I'll have a blocker for Nethergoyf. As long as Netherglyph is blocked, they can't Kaito. And that'll give us the turn we need to attack a second time. All right, now let's see if they Bowmaster here. They Brainstorm. I am going to attempt to Bowmaster this. This could be a trap. They force that. Okay, that's pretty good for us. Pitched to Daze. So they drew the Daze too late. So now we do have to worry about Kaito. But they're low enough that even with Kaito out, we may be able to hit them with the Borrower. I've got a Surveil in step. Netherglyph's a 4/5, which is not scary when I have 20 life. Wasteland probably isn't of consequence. Unless they need to like hardcast a Kaito here. I do expect Kaito to come down. Yeah. This will stun my Merc. And then they can replay their dude. And now we're going to see just how good Kaito is. Kaito is pretty insane. They're 5 life. About to drop to 3. They're still dead unless they can deal with this. But a Bowmaster would deal with that pretty cleanly. Tamio does block. Let's go ahead and Surveil here. That is an above average draw. Let's grab that. Fatal pushing this out of the way is good. Bowmaster would be great. I'm not going to use this yet because I don't know what I'm going to find. I'm going to blue. Witherbloom command doesn't do it. It is a good card though. Yeah, Witherbloom command kills him next turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Bowmasters this turn, and next turn I can Witherbloom them. I think we actually, it doesn't really matter which one we attack. They are going to block, I presume. Yeah, I'm going to attack them. They may be brazen enough to like wait. They're not blocking. Interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and play this out. Just put material on the table. Lock off. Like, yeah, I don't think they could have a Bowmaster, which would be really good, but it won't save them anymore. Especially now that they're at 1 and I have Witherbloom on top of my deck. They would need to like hardcast Force. They drew a land for turn. That's not good. What? They're attacking with the Tamio? That's suicide. That's dumb. The reason is they can't draw the card off the clue anyway. So they don't get to Surveil. I mean, even if they Surveil, I got a Bowmaster on the table. Yeah, I think that was a really dumb attack. They should have just blocked. Should have just taken their medicine and blocked. I can kind of see what they're doing here, but like the fact that they're hellbent, so drain them for 2. All right. So again, I don't want to seem like too judgmental when I say it's dumb for them to attack there, but like unless they get rid of the actual Bowmaster, I really think they were taking unnecessary risks, but they were pretty screwed anyway. So okay, yeah, I think we keep it as is. Okay, and just to be clear, when I said my opponent, like what that play that my opponent was making was suboptimal, I don't want to just throw away the word dumb. I'm sure they had their reasons. They had a line. So apologies, my excellent friends. Okay, so this hand is pretty exceptional. I think this is a snap keep. And our opponent is mulliganing. Borrower is the weakest card in our hand, but I love the preponderance of mana. The Fatal Push. Witherbloom is a great rip. So we can go Surveil here. Yeah, feels good. Not going to play on basics. Got more than enough lands. It's fine. I'm just going to fetch. I said I wasn't going to play on basics. I think I am going to play on 1 basic now because I want to get a basic swamp and just push this while they are less likely to be able to interact. I don't want them to be able to unmulligan by attacking. I kind of want to bait them into wasting me. So maybe I do get the Underground Sea here and see if they waste. Let's see. We do this, we push. I mean, they're going to be down so many cards. I just want to remove material from the table. This could be Daze. They do Daze. Okay. Did we need to play into Daze? No, we did not. But, yeah. Okay. Well, what we're going to do now is we'll just replay the previous turn. Oh, holy cow. Better lucky than good. That's so insane. They have a Force. Okay. That is the world's most expensive Tamio there. Card they pitched was Daze. So they had double Daze hand. So we're going to Surveil. I would love for them to Brainstorm Flipper so badly. Because Witherbloom would love to just take that all the way to the bank. Please Flipper with a Brainstorm. Please Flipper with a Brainstorm. Yes! We're going to get to style on them with Witherbloom command. I'm so excited. Assuming they don't have yet another Force or yet another Daze. We do have Bowmasters, so like even if they have, they're able to keep her around, it's not the end of the world necessarily. But it is, oh yeah, we have Brazen Borrow. So we've got it multi-covered. But I'm going to go ahead and do the thing. This is why you play green. Go to Trop, and we're going to go black, green, cast, mill, and destroy target permanent. Want my land back. Please don't daze this. If they had a third daze, it's an absolute blowout. Okay, it's resolving. That is very good for us, friends. I'll grab this Underground Sea because I'm kind of, well, have we surveilled? We haven't surveilled yet. Yeah, I'll take that. I've got plenty of, fetchables in my deck. That is what we call a very good turn. My opponent's got 3 cards, a Wasteland. By all means, waste it up. You're crazy. You could have cracked that freaking clue and gotten further into your deck. Now maybe they have another Wasteland. I don't know. Let's play this out and I'll pass. And with Bowmasters up. There's no reason to play into days, but we've already seen 2 of their 4 dazes. They're 49 cards. I think I'm just going to... No, I can't surveil. I have to get a black source here. I think I do get a black source because then if I get lucky and spike a land, I've got Kaito. They're fetching in response. Do they have it? They're just going to crack this clue? What are they going to do? Okay, I wasn't hoping to actually catch you there. I just really wanted to be able to Bowmaster. I've actually only got 4 fetchables left with that Wasteland, and at least for that land. That was the, yeah. Okay, we're in. This is good. Now we just need to draw a land, and then we've got Kaito going, and then it'll be very hard to lose. All right, Dismember's potentially good. Let's think about what we want to do here. I think we just come in for a hug. I do want to ponder to find land. I'll leave black up in case I need a Fatal Push something. All right, these are insane cards. They're low enough in resources that daze might make sense. But if I daze something, I won't be able to... No, I think I'm going to put daze back completely. And I'll take this land now. And then next turn we can Merc. But I think Kaito's probably better than Mercing. Let's see, how many? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could Merc all the way. Yeah, they have lands. Like, I'm very glad I'm not going to be drawing that daze. What kind of cards could they have? Like a stock up, like a late game stock up here would be pretty good. Okay, they're opting not to do anything. I suspect they have a Bowmasters. Options. I think we just attack and we'd be ready to Kaito. We can dismember a card that they were going to use to block. Let's go ahead and come in for a hug. I got a Bayou here. I'm going to bring my Bowmaster back to hand so I can redeploy it. It seems like I know that gives them cantrips and stuff, but I'm going to go north. Let's see. If I go north, they're dead in 2 turns. I don't need more cards. I have plenty of stuff in my hand to do. Yeah. This also makes it so it's a little easier for me to tangle with like a late game Nethergoyf. Currently they have creature, land, instant. So it'd only be a 3/4 and this will be big enough to kill it now in combat. I can do it again next turn and just totally restrict their life. This is fine. That is a temporary solution. This is one of those things where had I like not pulled the Bowmaster out, but I'm fine. I'm fine. Assuming they can't get rid of this somehow. They'd have to have like land drop, Fatal Push. Yeah, I'm just going to Kaito again. Draw a force for turn. That's pretty good. Black, blue. Hit him for 4. They're like, if I emblem, they're like so close to dead. It's not even funny. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I could have like dug for a land there. Maybe that was correct. Because if they daze my force, it is going to be kind of a blowout. But I've got so many different things I can do here. I can just stun that and attack through it. All right, yeah, I'll just stun it and attack. Land for turn, yeah. We cleaned it up. How good was Witherbloom come in there? Very good. See you in round 4. Round 4, we're 2-1. We're up against a likely combo player. I like this hand a lot. They're likely on Omnitell. We do want to aggressively rush them down. I'm tempted to just hedge maze here. They've been most recently playing Omnitell and Coveted Jewel, which, yeah, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to try to fill up my yard. Nice dodge. Assuming they're on Omnitell. If they're on some creature strategy, I'll feel like a fool for being so presumptive. But you want to trust your opponent's like history. This is from like a month ago. Coveted Jewel, like almost none of the decks they've been playing are... I mean, if they're playing this Moonstompy, we're just dead anyway. Yeah, we'll see. Omnitell is very strong right now, so I would presume that somebody, if they could be playing Omnitell, they would be playing it. This is blue-green. This is Omnitell colors. They could be on Beanstalk. So I could respect days here, and I could go ahead and play a land to ponder. But if I find a Wasteland, I'm definitely going to want to waste that. I don't think they're going to daze. But if they are on Beanstalk or some sort of tempo deck, they absolutely could daze here. It's not like this has to resolve, but I would like for it to. Okay, so Tamiyo is pretty good. She is something we can start doing immediately. However, that is going to necessitate us shuffling with a force, which I kind of want. I guess the question is, okay, I could also just take this force and then shuffle and then try to find something good next turn. Or, yeah, I want to play Tamiyo out immediately. I think it's worth just playing Tamiyo out immediately. The reason it's worth playing her out immediately is it starts us drawing 2 cards a turn, and quantity of cards is a big deal. That force is in the deck. We can potentially find it later if this game goes a little bit longer. But our opponent's not going to be able to interact with this, and if we can flip her, which we can do technically next turn. Oh, they're going to... Oh, Lorien. Okay. I thought that might be a Veil. But Veil would be in the sideboard probably. I was like, oh yeah, just use your best card against me. Just a cantrip. That'd be amazing. But no such luck. Okay, Ancient Tomb. So they are already the party here. I am going to daze this. If they force, I'll let it happen. Okay. All right, so we can create a clue this turn. Man, we got I really want to brainstorm. Yeah, we got a lot of land drops, that's for sure. Feeling pretty vulnerable here. If Flusterstorm is their protection here, we can still survive. Oh, yeah, I'll let that happen. Show and Tell is happening probably next turn. We're only playing 19 lands. We've just gotten unlucky in drawing so many. Our 20th land is in the sideboard, for those of you counting at home. I do think it's perfectly fine to play 20 in a Daze deck if you absolutely need them, but I don't think they should be main deck. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we can flip her this turn, and I think we probably should. So I'm going to come in for a hug. They could fluster to stop this from flipping. I think there's a decent chance they have another land drop so they can show and tell either way, but they may be wary to show and tell if we find a Wasteland. If they want to fluster my Ponder, then I'm dead in the water. Like, I don't have a blue card for force. But they would never expect that I wouldn't have a freaking blue card for force. I mean, look at my hand. It's got 7 cards in it. Like, when would your opponent have 5 lands in their hand, you know? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to presume that my opponent will be afraid. Okay. This Murktide can close the game very quickly. It's a blue card for force that we need. I think we have to take the Murktide anyway. And these other cards don't do enough. But I will take the Murktide just for a guaranteed blue card. Now I will fetch away the bad cards. We're going to go ahead and draw and flip Tommy. And this way we are potentially going to be able to regrow our force later. We can also pressure by threatening to draw half our deck, which will win the game. We drew a Daze, which is good. So now we do have the option of pitching Daze, but I don't think that's correct. I think we probably pitch the Murktide and we try to ride the Tamiyo Express. We have to survive 4 turns, though. I don't think that's likely. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they've got freaking 8 cards in hand, which they did select for. Show and Tell. What is this? 4 mana? The One Ring? Well, I have to stop this, unfortunately. That cannot be allowed. And then we have to have Daze for the protection. Yeah, so we're like really behind the 8 ball here. Spell Pierce. If it's a Flusterstorm, then I can't stop that. I can't stop this, though. I think at this point we probably grab the Hedge Maze. I know it sounds kind of sad, but I need some selection here. Do they have the Force? They did have the Force as well. Okay, so they're going to get a card off Veil, then they're going to get a card off Ring. I can't imagine how we're going to win this. Our deck was not kind to us this game. We had a mulligan, and then we also just proceeded to draw 5 lands. We drew at least 4 lands. I'm not sure that we drew all 5. I no longer think that we have to find a Bowmasters stat. Witherbloom doesn't do enough. We're on a minus to get a Ponder. It's a pathetic thing, but like we literally need Bowmasters or we're dead. And we're probably dead anyway. These don't work. Rakshas's Bargain's a good card. It doesn't do anything right now. I think I just go ahead and... I can't even cast Witherbloom because I don't have enough targets because they've got protection. I'm going to concede. I don't really want to play this game anymore. I think we're really far behind. Okay. Rakshas's Bargain can't dig you out of, your opponent activating One Ring repeatedly with tons of life. So we do have the 4 force negations here. Those come in. The carpet can come in. I'll cut my basic island, I guess. Oh, I can cut these fatal pushes. The carpet's definitely better than a land. It's worth like probably 2 mana. And it can be mana of any color. Let's see. Yeah, our opponent had two. I think they maybe even played a third island. I feel pretty confident the carpet's going to be good here. They may be playing Sink into Stupor and cards like that. We didn't see them. All right. Go FaceTime. All right. This hand slaps. Double Force. Tamiyo turn 1. I like it. I wish we had a Thoughtseize, but hopefully we'll draw one later. I want a Kaito for sure. Kaito will be a very powerful permanent against them. We can surveil every turn, draw. I could plus with Kaito just to get more damage in. This is their turn to mulligan. Tamiyo's out. We can just brainstorm next turn and flipper, which I think is probably, well, it depends on what we draw. I mean, would you rather have a flip Tamiyo counting up or would you rather have Kaito slamming in? I think Kaito is more important here. That's fine. So they fetch basic island. Wary of Wasteland. So with Bug Tempo versus Beanstalk, they're very similar decks, but Bug Tempo is just like leaning a little bit more into being disruptive against combo and probably losing more games against control and aggro. Okay. You know what? I do think Kaito is probably a force pitch. Unless, if I'd rather find a Bowmaster or something that applies pressure now, because I'm not guaranteed to find a third land. I could trop here and just plan to instep crack, and we get like 1 extra turn of drawing an extra card. We get 1 extra clue. And then we draw a carpet, or we draw one of any land, literally any land, and we have Kaito next turn. I think that's more important than just flipping Tamiyo right now. We don't have anything in our graveyard to recur. We have to count all the way up to 8. I don't think it's fast enough. I'm going to wait and do this just in case they have a fluster or some sort of card like Spell Pierce type effect. I'm going to wait till the end step to counter. Lorien revealed. Okay, they have a very slow opening. Ponder. I'll let them continue to spin their wheels. So end step we crack, then we draw, and if one of those 2 cards is a land, we're in Kaito land. If not, I can just brainstorm then. I've got an extra clue. Borrower. Probably not relevant, but it could be good against One Ring. Okay, that's not the land we're looking for. I guess I can get deeper into my deck with it. I'm going to attack Brainstorm first, and then I can throw away one of the cards I don't want. Love to find a Thoughtseize here. Okay. These cards are all fine. I don't really need the Hedge Maze. I can put the Hedge Maze back. Put back a Kaito since I don't have a way to enable him. Yeah, I think that's fine. It sucks, but we opted to flipper, so. And then we can just surveil and step. Or it's probably better to just crack the clue. I'm liking the volume of permission in our hand, though. It feels good to be played in Daze against this deck. It's not great against a lot of other decks. Okay, there's the Ancient Tomb, so that does kind of mitigate the benefit of our Daze here. I'm going to let this stock up happen. We're going to just keep going north with Tamiyo and try to run up. Once we draw half our deck, it doesn't really matter what they do. We have 8 forces in our deck, so we'll have probably at least 4 forces in our hand, maybe more, and Dazes. They may have Sink into Stupor. I can just protect. So it's late. It's a late Tamiyo, but I think it still has 3 turns. We have to survive 3 turn cycles, essentially. Two more turn cycles after this. All right. Now I'm just going to go ahead and crack the clue. I don't really care about surveilling that much. Okay, another Daze. Thoughtseize. Love it. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them first because we may want to run it back with Tamiyo. I know that does ruin our uptick plan. I'm just going to Daze this because I think they probably have a Show and Tell in hand. And this might be able to get them to force, in which case I can Daze a second time. They only have 4 Thoughtseize or 4 Show and Tells in their deck. That's like a huge weakness of their deck, is that they're relying on finding. Yeah, we take this the force. They opted not to Show and Tell there. We could minus and we could just take the One Ring as well. Because they are going to be able to force it. They don't have Veil mana. So let's think about this. I think it's still worth going north with Tamiyo because it's like an actual win con plan. We have enough forces that we can overload their interaction. As long as they don't draw a Veil. If they draw a Veil, then we're in pretty scary territory. I think what I'll do is I'll play a land. No, wait. Did I already play a land for turn? I don't think I did. So I can have Hardcast Force Negation up as well as... yeah, I like it. So I'm definitely taking the Show and Tell because I don't want Omniscience. Plus, I'm going to play a land and we're just going to chill. We could put in a Brazen Borrower in step if they don't do anything. It is a blue card for force. I don't know why they wouldn't do something here. Like, I think they're going to just slam the One Ring. They did find the freaking Veil mana. That sucks for us. Okay, so I'm just going to boom, boom, negate. They're going to Veil. Then I'll Daze the Veil. Then I'll force their force. Daze is so good. Don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. Certainly not me. Don't ever let me tell you Daze is bad. I know I've said it before. Sorry, Daze. I never should have doubted you. Okay, now the force comes because they have to resolve this or the game's over. Okay. And I guess I'm just going to do it like this. Borrower. I mean, yeah, I think it's fine. Now they have to do a lot to get out of this. Their hand is Ancient Tomb, which is not going to win them the game. All right. Counter Magic alone can beat these decks. You don't necessarily need hate pieces. I know that the Eternal Glory podcast, they were talking about how you really need like permanent hate pieces. And I love permanent hate pieces, but I do believe that like force negations can. So we have not surveilled yet. I'm going to play that out. I'm going to plus. So I think it's basically deterministic as long as our Tamiyo doesn't whiff. Because we can stop whatever spell they cast this turn. We draw on Tamiyo, and we just need Tamiyo to not whiff too hard. Then we just drop like a bunch of Bowmasters. The game should end really quickly. Okay, scooped. All right, let's run that back. Let's do that game again. No sideboard changes. I actually did mean to make one sideboard change, but I didn't make it. I think the island should be back in. We should take out a different land. If you think about it, we're down to 13 initial blue sources, and that's not enough. This hand's a snap keep. This is a snap freaking keep. My goodness. It sucks that we don't have a second land, but yeah, we have Brainstorm to find a land. I'm not going to put back this many forces. They're interacting solely on the stack. They're not playing cards like Disrupt Defense Grid. So, yeah, I think it's totally fine. Okay, that's a shuffle off their ponder. Land, please. All right. I'm going to chill for a turn cycle. I think it is probably worth surveilling, even if that means I can't play Bowmasters, because I'm not going to be able to play Bowmasters without a second land anyway. They are playing Sink into Stupor. That's noteworthy. Let's go ahead and surveil. And now we have Brainstorm on top of surveil to find land number 2 if we don't find it off this. That's going to go in the graveyard. We're looking explicitly for land. Witherbloom Command. This is one of those marginally playable cards that's in our deck. This shouldn't whiff, but it could. Thank you, deck. Thank you so much for not whiffing there. That would have been catastrophic. Witherbloom Command can take out... I think it might be worth keeping. I definitely want to keep... So I want to keep Bowmasters and I want to keep Kaito. Where does that leave us? I think Borrower goes back. Witherbloom goes back. But without Witherbloom, we don't have a path. Or land number 3, which we need for Kaito. I think it's okay. What I'm going to do is I'll just hope to draw another land. I don't want to spend an entire turn cycle Witherblooming. But my plan is very much get Orcish Bowmaster on the table and disrupt them from winning the game while we beat them down. They have at least, like 12 cantrips if you include the Lore Revealed. I don't know if it's 12, but it's a lot. Okay, now we're going to keep the Witherbloom that's on top for sure. Okay. Yeah, Witherbloom is on top, and we are going to be able to use it to great effect here. And I will have to force to get it through, maybe. Do they have another carpet? They do. This one, I think, let's see, how much mana do they have? I could fight this. I'm kind of tempted to just fight it. Because the other one we've got answered. Yeah. Because killing one of them doesn't really matter that much if they still have one active. Okay, they may be like, oh, that's weird. Why do they do that one? Well, they're about to see why. Because we're drawing with the bloom. We're going to go get our Underground Sea. Green, black, Witherbloom command. I'll mill myself. I'll destroy that permanent. And I am glad I got rid of that. Like, now they may fight this. And I will fight back. I'll pitch force. And then I'll grudgingly pitch Kaito to the final force if necessary. This is worth doing. Oh, yeah, we're running pretty lean, but they're down to 2 cards, and we're about to disrupt their mana significantly. This is like blowing up a land. This keeps them a little bit farther from One Ring. I'll be very sad if they are able to One Ring next turn anyway. We already cleared the top of our deck. Yeah, they have the mana for One Ring, so I may have to force One Ring here. I'm not going to force a stock up. So this next turn cycle, I'm going to Bowmaster, and I am going to hope to Kaito and draw into another blue card. And I can wait and hold the Bowmaster for their turn if I want to, instead of just putting it out there. It may be worth just playing it to like force them to play into it. Okay, land. We now have Hardcast Kaito if for some reason we need to. I'm trying to think. Yeah, they may go for... We may fight over the Orcish Bowmaster instead of the One Ring, because the One Ring... Bowmaster can kill them faster than the One Ring can necessarily draw them into a win. Because they'd be taking 2. Yeah. I think I'm going to wait. Also, there's a possibility that we have to force and they have like Fluster or something like that. I think they're playing... I don't think they're playing Fluster. Fluster's not a very good card. It's just good in... Like, it's a defensive card, and like if you're playing like Doomsday or something like that, but Veil's like infinitely better than Fluster if you have access to green. The hedge... My hope is that we can just catch like a Ponder or something and at least get a little bit of extra damage. They've got 5 cards in hand, so they have rebuilt quite a bit from our previous force fight. The scariest thing they could do is just show and tell here. And that's what they're doing. I'm going to force this with tons of mana up. If they have the Veil, that's catastrophic. Holy guacamole, that was lucky. We're going to get in. It would be crazy if they force this. They may be thinking about whether to cast a cantrip or something. And that's, had we just played out the Bowmaster previously, we wouldn't have to worry about this. They wouldn't be able to do this. So that is an argument in favor. Like, it was also possible that we put that on the stack and they're like, oh, let me emergency brainstorm, and then we're boom, Orcish Bowmaster your brainstorm. Like, there's risk and reward in main phasing your Orcish Bowmasters, but we caught the tail end of that, unfortunately. Okay, so we're in. Pinging them. I'm not hopeful for this game, considering that we like force negation off the top would not be terrible here. That's pretty terrible. I'm not going to play that because I don't want them to see that I have nothing. I want them to imagine that I have force negation. I've already shown them force negation. If they just have another show and tell and they're ready to go again, we lose. It is worth noting that like even if they get Omniscience out, like they can spend a little bit of time cantripping to get to where they need to go. Okay. I'd say we're like 30% to win this game, maybe 25. Best thing we could draw would be the other Kaito. Or Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize would be good too. Oh, the best thing we could draw would be a Rakshasa's Bargain at this point. I keep forgetting we have her in our deck. We haven't gotten to cast her the whole game. The whole league. Okay, the Lorien cycling. Shuffling their... well, I guess they have another carpet. Okay, they have so much mana that they can just cast the Omniscience basically at this point. So I'm really glad that I haven't cracked these. One of these could get a Bayou. We don't have the Swamp in our deck. Okay, this is good for us that they're going ahead and firing into Orcish Bowmaster. This suggests a certain amount of hubris, but also a certain amount of desperation. Okay, they passed burning out the last mana. Brainstorm's pretty good. I think we go for it. Let's go ahead and do it. Daze is pretty dead. I think Borrower's pretty dead too, but it is combat, potential combat damage. Yeah, Daze is super dead. Now I'm going to shuffle these. I'm going to get a Bayou. And now I can Ponder. We're looking for a Thoughtseize. This isn't any order shuffle. Bargain is great. If we get a chance to cast it next turn, it'll be awesome. There's no real point in bouncing this back to our opponent's hand. We just have to let them get the 2 mana off of it. If they One Ring, we could bounce that back. But they have protection from everything, so yeah. I'm just going to let this happen. Shoot our arc. They aim their arrows downward and shoot themselves in the foot. Scary amount of mana over there. Second Bowmasters. Now we have a conundrum. We can let them do whatever they want here. When they trigger the One Ring, we could respond by Bowmastering, and then we deal double damage. I think that's probably better than. And then if they force that for some reason, we still have Borrower to put the One Ring back in hand, so they don't get to draw the cards. They get to draw one card, and then we do 5. Yeah, there's no reason to take action right now. Well, the reason is it reduces the likelihood of them drawing interaction, but it's worth noting that they can just veil our Bowmasters, which is very scary. They have not used any veils yet, and I have to presume they have 3 veils in their deck. They're 24 cards in their deck currently. A vast amount of mana available. I think the odds of us surviving this turn are very low. I do think the Bowmaster is a higher EV play than Rakshasa's Bargain is. Let's put it this way. If our Bowmaster actually resolves, they have to win immediately, because we will be able to attack for lethal unless they have a second One Ring. They can always bounce the actual thing, but they are going to take some damage here. I'm going to save my Borrower to bounce Omniscience out of play if they get Omniscience down. They're forcing here. Forcing the 8. I mean, they're going to be dead either way to their own One Ring, unless they have another One Ring. They can get rid of this and they get an extra turn cycle. This is the reason to play 4 Bowmasters right now, is the One Ring. These were printed in the same set for a reason. More land. They're passing? Okay, this tells me they definitely have... they're just passing to get more mana. Never mind. I was all excited. Sink into Super does answer this. They may be able to like Cunning Wish if they're playing that and get something else that they need. Okay, here comes Show and Tell. Lorien revealed. You're crazy, my friend. You are crazy. You really want to put yourself in the crosshairs. If they just play another One Ring, there's nothing we can do. They get an extra turn. They'll even be able to tap their Ancient Tomb and stuff after they play the One Ring. Going all the way to 1 to play this One Ring. Stock up? Okay. Let's go. Maybe they don't have a One Ring. They actually don't have the mana to cast One Ring now. I don't know how they survive. What could they do here to survive? They need a land plus... Did they play a land already for turn? They played an island. They don't have enough mana to win. Okay. Wow. Bowmaster too strong. See you in the final round. We're 3-1, losing only to Clan, one of the best Doomsday players of all time. Final round, we're up against a likely Delver player. This hand is great against Delver. We can just open Tamiyo, I think. Yeah, I'm going to do that. We've got Days of Protector. They want to bolt her. Let's see. They are playing black. They're playing black for 2 Molten Collapse. That's it. And, 3 Bowmasters. So they're playing kind of a throwback list. So Bowmaster is going to be something that we're going to want to stop on the stack if we can. Yeah, heavy creature base. So they're going to have a little bit harder time flipping their Delvers than most decks would. Also, they don't have the card advantage spell that Rug Delver has. Molten Collapse. Molten Collapse does deal with Flip Tamiyo. That's worth noting. Yep. I think we just daze this. I'd like to keep her around. If they daze back, it's not the end of the world. They do daze back. Okay. I am going to go ahead and just ponder to try to set up. Like, these cards are good, for sure. I don't want this Underground Sea. All right. And what I'm going to hope to do is next turn, fetch maybe the Bayou and then Bowmaster this. Uh-oh. We're not going to be able to Bowmaster this anymore. Now we're going to have to Fatal Push it. I will Fatal Push just to get this off the table. No, wait. It's still vulnerable. They don't have a sorcery. Okay, I am going to go for the Bowmaster here. And it could get dazed, but it's like the expected value is so high if we succeed in killing this thing. They've already used one of their dazes. I'm going to go ahead and get the Bayou just in case I need it. I can always get it later. Get the Underground Sea. I'll hide the fact that I'm playing green for now. Okay, that was phenomenal. And just like that, the advantage bar is swinging way our way. Like I would say we're probably like 70% favored now. Wasteland's fine. Waste away. All right. It's fine. I'm not going to wait for them to flip it. Wait, do I want to waste here? I am a Daze deck myself. If I don't waste and I could just push this and keep attacking. I think that's fine. Because I want a Kaito. That'd be pretty sweet. And I want to apply pressure. Yeah, if we get Kaito out, like, that's extremely powerful. We do have the option of Wasteland Merc next turn too. I have another Delver. I don't really want to crash into that. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and just attack with the Orc Army and see if they want to take that trade. And if they don't, I will Kaito. All right, let's Kaito. I'll get a Trop here, showing our true colors. That's why I love you. I'm going to hit them. I could just stun this. I think it's fine to go north. They could have Unholy Heat to just kill this. I can lock in the card advantage. They can't kill it this turn. Yeah, I'm going to lock in the card advantage. Nethergoyf is sick. These both are really good. This Ponder in the yard, it does grow the Merc a little bit. I could bring this back later, actually. I think I'm going to put these both in my graveyard. Okay, Borrower's nice. We're just going to pass. So next turn, Nethergoyf can come back, or we can bring back... Nethergoyf would be pretty big, too. Let's see, how many creatures do I have in my graveyard? I've got 2, so I could... He'd be a 3/4, I think. No, yeah, he'd be 3/4. Okay, Bobble, sure. Bobble it up with my Bowmasters out. I'm totally chill with that. And if you attack, I'm not going to block, so you should attack. And now, if you have a Bolt, you can even finish him off, but this Bowmaster is worth too much to me. You can no longer finish him off because he is hexproof. I don't think we cast the Thoughtseize here. I think I'm going to attack with both. Now I think I'm going to plus. I should have plus before combat. That was a mistake. Alternatively, I could go ahead and just surveil. But then if they flip, yeah, I should have plus before combat. I'm not going to, just because I made a mistake doesn't mean I'm going to make a second mistake. I think it's perfectly fine to Thoughtseize them here and see what they have. And then we can Merc. I don't like losing life, but I think it's okay from this point. Like I'm definitely taking these Thoughtseize out of the deck, but in this specific situation, that's fine. Okay. So now you can bobble with impunity. I will take the Brainstorm, and I'm going to drop the mother of all Mercs. It's going to be huge. 1. Let's see, do we want to make it huge? We can make it huge next turn with Nethergoyf. We take out a sorcery. We take out a bunch of... We have to exile a land. We have a Wasteland, which we can just fire off. So that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to make him a little chibi. Murktide. We're going to end bobbling here. It doesn't matter. Okay. And next turn, when I bring back Nethergoyf, he's going to grow. Should I bring back Nethergoyf? I mean, I may just Bowmaster again. So they're going to do the trick to flip him. And then they're going to be able to not do anything because they've got a giant Murktide in the way. Yeah, this game has just gone very much our way ever since the resolution of this Bowmaster on their DRC. I can't imagine how they claw back into this. They have their own Merc, which I have a Borrower for. It is larger. I could just make my Merc even bigger. I think I'll just bounce it though. They did invest all their resources in that. They do have a Force that I left them with. Alternatively, we just stun. Okay, we Bowmaster this, we stun, and we attack for lethal. That works too. Play this out. Black, blue, Bowmaster. Do you want to force this? Okay, they force that. Now we just go blue, colorless, bounce. Good game. Okay. So sideboard, we're bringing in the swamp. We're bringing in the carpet. So it's effectively like we have 21 mana sources, which is pretty clean. Then we're bringing the hydros. Now Spellbomb's quite good. Harbinger could be okay here because they're like so heavy, like they're a 3-color deck. Let's think about that. So I think we take out the forces completely. Take out the Thoughtseizes completely. Nethergoyf being a ground creature does kind of suck because he can rarely block anything they do. We could take out some Dazes. I'm not going to be trying to tempo them. I'm going to be like the conventional wisdom is you don't waste Delver. We could take out the bargains. They are high mana value. And then we could bring back in some forces. I like having some forces in the deck. Like spending 3 mana and having this countered. It's not like it triggers Beanstalk. You just get nothing for it. Yeah, I think I'm going to do... If we do bring in the Dazes and we just do Daze instead of Force. And then we can go after the Wastelands. Or we can Wasteland them. I think I'm going to try this. I seriously doubt they're playing anything other than an island as their basics. Yeah, we can lock them off their 2 splash colors, which would stop DRC. It would stop Molten Collapse. It would stop Bolt. Stop Bowmaster. I think that's pretty good. So yeah, I will be looking to try to end the game with that. How many Pyroblasts do they bring in? 4? Most likely. They may bring in Pop. I doubt it. Because Pop kills them too, and they're up against a tempo deck. So 21 mana sources, we didn't get one. This is too many mana sources, but I'd rather have too many than too few. I'm going to keep this. I'll put back an Underground Sea. You don't want a mulligan against Delver. Yeah, that's, yeah. As silly as it may sound, I think we just waste them here and hope that they... Wait. No, I'm going to Pyro. Or I'm going to Hydro. And if they daze this, they daze it. Like, wow, that was huge. That was vast. This card's cool. They do have a way to trigger it. Okay, cool. All right, so Witherbloom does deal with both the parts of this. They see a Brainstorm at random. All right, so I'm going to Brainstorm here and try to get rid of something in our hand. What are we getting rid of? Wasteland? They're already on board. I don't really like wasting somebody who's already on board. I think we Tommy and then we immediately plus. That doesn't seem correct because, I mean, it reduces their damage, but they have prowess. They could potential, and these tokens keep the prowess, right? So what happens is, if they can cast 2 spells in a turn, they can keep hitting us hard. If we do that, also we are turning on Wasteland for them. I think I'm just going to start with the Brainstorm and see what we find. And I'm intentionally not playing out the land because now Spellbomb's pretty good. Daze. I want to keep the Spellbomb. Tommy can block, but if they have any sort, I think that might be okay. We just take another hit. They may not be playing black. Did we see Underground Sea? Yeah, I think they may just be playing blue-red with prowess stuff. All right. I think what I want to do here is I want to keep the days and I want to waste them, and then I'll redraw for a turn. All right. Yeah, I'm going to put Tommy on the bottom. I just don't have faith that she's going to be relevant this game, frankly. They have tons of ways of dealing with her. So we're going to cut them off red, and we're going to hope that this actually hurts them. And then that our daze does something now. Next turn we can daze. We can shuffle. But like anything we're shuffling, we're getting into potential Wasteland. Yeah, classic don't waste Delver coming true here. Ponder, so their monk gets bigger. Okay, we're taking 3. Yeah, this thing is way better than Delver. My goodness, this card is good. Okay. So I do want to fetch, but I don't want to like lose a land. I think what I can do, I'm just going to play this out, but we can't wait around. Tommy's way too slow to impact this thing. I mean, Tommy could get it down to like attacking for 1 each turn, and it'd probably be attacking Tommy instead of us. But the second they have 2 cards, and that's why I wasted them, I didn't want them to be able to cast 2 spells because then they get another creature. And they have this creature that doesn't have summoning signals that can also attack. It makes me think Tommy's just not where we want to be. I'm going to definitely take out the Harbingers. I don't think that was the correct choice now that seeing that this is what their deck does. It's basically a blue-red Delver with Cori-Steel Cutter. This Brainstorm is irritating because this may represent them being able to get another token. And it's just cast, so it's not like countering. It stops the prowess trigger or the... yeah, these are all cast. They found a Valk. So here comes the second spell. And then we're going to get attacked for like a lot. Daze has not been live because they found lots of land. I'm trying to think of how we even survive this. Nethergoyf would actually be surprisingly good. We could Ponder and Nethergoyf, and then we have like a decent ground blocker. Wow, Scoob, we're taking... Are we dead? We're like practically dead here. I'm going to Surveil just to maximize looks. I know they can waste. Oh, this doesn't have haste? I thought this got attached to the... You may attach this equipment to it. They should have attached because they would have given it haste. That was a misplay. So I think they just screwed up. Whenever you cast your second spell, create a monk token, you may attach this equipment to it. And this would have given it trample and haste. So yeah, they definitely punted there. I'll take it. All right, let's surveil. And I feel very confident they're going to waste this, but like I just want to get that Wasteland out of the way because it's going to be looming over me for the rest of the game. Yeah, they just waste it. They don't even let me see what I want to get first. That's fine. This borrower does deal with that token. Yeah, I mean, sadly, I think we do want to just get that out of the way, and then they have to pay mana to equip. How much does it cost to equip? Draw a card. I mean, there's a very good chance they daze this, but we're probably dead anyway if that happens. We could also die to a Bowmaster, but I don't feel comfortable. I mean, we could brainstorm, or we could daze. I'm sorry, I said Bowmaster. I mean a Murktide. We could daze a Murktide here, unless they have another land. They've seen a lot of cards. That's a daze for me. One of those. Probably just daze me right back. Okay, this is the premier tempo deck right here. Like this in blue-black. I feel like there's no way we're going back to Grixis with this card in the meta. This card is really good. I'm going to play this on my channel. They're really expensive. So I did get into the creator program, and they're going to give me my account any day now. And then when I get in there, when they give it to me, I think we need to ponder for a push. I'm just going to ponder, and then I'm probably going to also hit their graveyard. Harbinger doesn't do enough. We do want this Delta. We do want this Witherbloom. I'll take the Delta now, just in case of an emergency. I'm going to go ahead and hit their yard. Draw trigger. Okay. So we are going to draw another card because I'm a dum-dum. I forgot I'd already made my land drop for the turn. All right. Yeah. They can still equip it and get extra damage if they want to, if they don't have anything else to do. I mean, it is an equipment that's just chilling. It's pretty good. Man, I love the art on this card too. Of course, those are not Chinese. It looks like they're like monks doing different fighting stances. If you haven't seen the movie Equilibrium, it's an insane movie. It's so cool, like the action sequences. Even if you don't watch the entire movie, which is kind of like a 1984 type movie or a Fahrenheit 451. Yeah, I am feeling pretty dead. We can kill the Delver, but then we're dead 2 attacks. We kill the Delver, we gain 2. We survive at 1. Doesn't feel good. So we can kill the actual Cori-Steel. I think we need to kill the Delver. We need to gain. That must happen. And I think there's a chance that Delver doesn't flip and then we get to poke it later. Yeah, we'll take the chance. We're so far behind. Like I've been kind of like just talking and stuff, like not really. I'm kind of like zoned out, like how far behind we are and how like totally reasonable it would have been to concede a long ass time ago. Okay, they waste there. I mean, what could we draw here? We don't have Pernicious Deed. Okay, they flip it. All right. Now we know a little bit more about what their deck's doing. And their deck looks sweet, and I can't wait to play it on the channel. So the Harbingers come out for sure. Those felt bad. I think maybe we bring some forces back in. Rakshas's Bargain was never really alive, but it is a good card. I feel like it's not a good card against Pyroblast decks. Yeah, I think we just run it like this. Our daisies are in. We're on the play. Giant Merc dies to Pyroblast, unfortunately. Man, I wonder how many lands they were playing. They always had a land. I think almost every turn they dropped a land. And usually Delver plays like 18 land. They might have gone a little higher. I mean, Cori is a 2-drop. I'm gonna keep referring to Cori, and when I do, I'm gonna think of Corey Feldman and his amazing music. If you haven't seen his it's the childhood actor star who now makes music, and let me tell you. All right. I mean, we've got the Tamiyo combo. I'm gonna keep this. I know it's 5 lands. You don't want to mulligan against Delver. This way we can be brazen. We don't have to fetch basics. We can just try to get them to waste us. So I'll go get an Underground Sea here. Tamiyo, please waste us. Use your precious turns to waste us while we get tempo off of this Tamiyo. If they pyro this, I'll be sad. Yep, it's not a pyro, but it does deal with her. We could have like waited and been more patient, but I don't think that's the path forward here. Want to press our advantage. Daze is a great rip. I'm going to go ahead and waste their land. We'll just let this mana burn off. We have Daze protection on our days. So if they play like a Delver or a DRC, I will daze it. I'll just daze anything. Will I? No, I think I can do something more impactful with this daze than hit a Delver. All right, Bobble. You see a random card in our hand. They reveal the Brainstorm. Okay, we're not going to cast. We're going to be disciplined and get the perfect Brainstorm. Okay, I think I'm just going to play this out. And I'm going to Brainstorm because I could find a Fiddle Push. Bowmaster would be ideal. Carpet is okay. We can cast Carpet this turn with Daze Protection. If we're going to do that, I'm going to put back some of these cards. Yeah, I'll put these two back. I'm going to go fetch a Trop. I will Daze to protect this. Will I? I mean, I have tons of mana. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just hope that they, yeah. I think I just let that go. Because we have so much mana in our hand. Like, they'd have to waste several consecutive times before I'm, like, really sad. I took out some of my big mana cards. Okay, they reveal Lightning Bolt, so they are on the aggro here. They may not have a red source. They are playing the island out. Okay, we take 2 here. I can just Brazen Borrower. They're flipped over if I need to. I'm going to let them do that. Maybe this is a mistake. But I want to like hit like a Cori-Steel or like a DRC or something that's really impactful. They don't have a land. That's great. Wait, they chose not to. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. Now we have Borrower up, end step if we need to bounce something out of play. Like they Cori-Steel and they do all this stuff to get it. Then I can just bounce the actual attacker out of play. I think they may be mana screwed though. Nope. No such. I think that's a Daze. All right. They did not force to get it through. I'm going to go get my Surveil. Looking for Murktide. Looking for something that can close the game quickly. Tamiyo's fine. I don't have the ability to draw with her, but like assuming they don't have a... Wait, they already revealed the bolt. I shouldn't have done this. I should have done this. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. I have to just chill and try to protect her. Yeah, that was an embarrassing misplay. I should have just bent her because they revealed the bolt already. So what I can do is I can play out a Brazen Borrower here and hope that it baits their bolt. Okay, I'm going to have to borrow the token that they get off this. Yeah, I'll just borrow that token. Not feeling good about the situation we're in. It's worth noting that they can equip this to this and give it, haste and stuff. Let's draw a removal spell like a Hydroblast or... Yeah, let's not draw that. Damn. Okay, well, I'm going to play out the Borrower here and hope to trade, but there's no way it's going to trade. And then I'll play out the Tamiyo, and we're going to be so far behind. It's not even funny. Yeah, but I don't want to play this in a Daze at this point. Like, they should never get a Daze opportunity for the rest of the game with the amount of mana I have. Okay, they are just bolting my... Yeah, that's fine. It's aggro bolting. That is a Ponder that does trigger that. Yeah, so they're going to be attacking me. But my hope is that like they don't have another bolt and that I can put this in front of that. Because DRC is actually a lot scarier than this monk. Yeah, I don't think I've made any mistakes this game. Like defending Carpet would have been a mistake. I had to stop the first Cori-Steel Cutter. So I presume they have something to answer this and they wouldn't just be attacking in naked, but they could be. But if like Bolt is one of the last cards, that's fine too. You're crazy if you didn't have a plan for that. Wow. I think that was a huge spew. I think like this is such a powerful creature and they just bolted me knowing that was in exile, trying to aggro me. I think that's a huge mistake, but they may not get punished because we may just draw land. Okay. Next, another Tamiyo. Not the greatest. All right. Come on. Let me punish this greedy player. Another Steel Cutter. Do they have another spell? Oh my goodness. Such a massacre. Such a massacre. This deck, I think our deck is well configured to beat this deck, but we just have had some seriously bad variants. I think I've been playing tight. Leave comments with timestamps if you think I screwed up somewhere along the line, but I feel like I'm playing reasonably tight here. Yeah, we're going to take a ton. I'll block this one, but I'm taking 4. And next turn, I'm taking a lot more than that probably. Oh no, they have another spell. Don't do it. Don't do this to me. Don't play yet another thing. Yeah, they have another thing. I'm dead. So this, like I can throw Tamiyo in front of this. I'll throw Tamiyo in front of the biggest one. They even have the, okay, yeah, we're literally dead. Like we're taking 8 and we have 1. Yeah, we're going to go to 1. There is no answer to this. All right. Yeah, this is definitely the new face of Delver. This seems so much stronger than what they used to be doing. And it's 2 color too. It's like really good. All right. So we draw a card. It doesn't matter. I can't think of anything we could draw. Yeah, certainly not a land. Thank you, deck. All right. So what did we learn? Well, this deck is very powerful. You need to be prepared for it. I think we are prepared for it. I think our deck's well positioned with Witherbloom Command, but we just had some terrible draws. I mean, 3 Hydroblast. I tell everybody put 3 Hydroblast in your decks. It's a really good card. Harbinger, doesn't do anything in the matchup. Dismember seems pretty bad. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the deck we just played against becomes like one of the S tier decks. Like, not necessarily S tier, but like it's definitely a tier 1 deck in my mind. Because they just took like a really good deck and they just made it even more aggressive. So I suspect what's going to happen is there is going to be a variation. And by the way, this is not like, wow, that was like my first impression with the deck. No, I played against the deck a few times. Not that exact deck, the blue-red Delver, but I played against different decks that are using Cori-Steel. But it just... I mean, I play Delver too, and I can just see like the possibilities there, like how aggressive it becomes. Because you don't need to play 3 colors. You can just have a clean 2-color mana base, and you can play extremely aggro strategies. And Cori-Steel Cutter is virtual card advantage because they have to remove those threats. My intention is probably to take out the Dismember because that felt like dead the entire league. It's only there for Moonstompy. I mean, you could argue that, like, okay, if you're worried about Moonstompy, why not just play 4 Hydroblasts? And I mean, that does it, right? Like, Hydroblast is very good against Cori-Steel Cutter. It's very good against Moonstompy. Yeah. So that may seem like a weird take to play 4 Blast, but I think it's probably warranted. Like, half their deck is red, and you're going to be encountering that deck a lot. The only thing that's keeping that deck from not showing up more is the fact that Cori-Steel Cutter is like, I don't know, like 50 tickets or something. I still stand by the 4 Force Negation. Losing to Doomsday was unfortunate. The swamp carpet strategy, I think it's still good. I mean, the deck felt great. The only downside of the deck is just that, it does play a lot of land post-board, more than a typical Delver deck. You could change that up for Lorien Revealed, but I don't think Lorien Revealed is good if you're not playing Mystic Sanctuary, and I don't think you play Mystic Sanctuary in a 3-color deck that's that has as many color pips as this. You could do it, and like I never really liked it in Bug Beans either. That's a lie. There was a period where I was jamming like 3 or 4 Lorien into it, but yeah, I think it's just better to play more lands, personally, because sometimes you get flooded like we did, but a lot of times you're just praying for that land off the top. RNG giveth and taketh. So that's all I have to say about the list. I really enjoyed playing this league, and I'm going to play another league with it. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.